and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Deepa from DeeZinesByD, and I'm so happy to bring to you another Scrappy Tails video today. So this card I've made features the Scrappy Tails coffee shop add-on dies, and all I did was kind of take the cute little window dies that they have, which creates a bit of a layered look, and I cut out the window from my card to create a little scene on the inside that kind of shows through the window. So I call this a coffee window see-through card. So you can see through the window, see inside, see what's going on in the coffee shop with a cute little happy birthday sentiment that I've stamped inside there for you guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at the products that I used. So the main die set that I used was this coffee shop add-on set. So this set is made to be used with the pop-up sets. This is one of them. This is the slimline flower stand storefront pop-up stand. Then we've got the garden flower stand dies, and then finally we've got the sentiments stamp set that you can get to go with both the coffee shop and the flower shop. So here's the window dies that I was talking about. So there's 3 dies. One cuts the rectangle, one cuts like a frame, and the other one cuts more detail in terms of the curtains. So I just took that main rectangle and I lined it up in the center of my card. I didn't measure anything. It's really up to you if you want to measure. So you can see I have that window cut out nicely from the front of the card. Once that's done, I went ahead and used those other 2 dies to cut out the frame and the curtains. So the frame, I used some Sizzix Opulent rose gold mirror cardstock, and for the curtains I used some nice dark navy blue. And then I went ahead and attached it with some foam squares to add a bit of dimension. Now, before attaching this to the card base, what I want to do is add some color. So I've got this beautiful turmeric yellow ink here. This is from Pigment Craft Co. It's a Canadian craft company, and I really like this yellow because it's not a bright yellow. I'm not one for bright colors. It's like a dull yellow, so it really works well with this card and this color scheme. So I'm using my largest blending brush to add the color, and I'm concentrating the color more at the edges of the frame and kind of blending it out lightly into the white around the sides there. So now that that's done, I'll go ahead and add that beautiful window frame, and I'm just adding glue to the outer edges, and it connects just perfectly to that rectangle. So I'm just checking to make sure that it's all connected and it's not kind of showing too much through the back. And the thing here is it's really up to you if you want to do this. You can go ahead and create another frame like I did here. And I just find that this it finishes off the card. So when your recipient opens up the card, they're going to see that it's nicely finished on the inside and there's not like, the backs of dies showing through. So I'm making sure when I do this that as I attach that frame, there are no white outlines or edges showing through to the front of the card. And as long as you attach it perfectly like that, you're not going to have any of that. So now for my sentiment, I'm using that sentiment set, and these have a bunch of sentiments for the flower stand set, or it has some sentiments to go with the coffee stand set. I'm going to obviously use the ones that go with the coffee stand set. And I just stamped that cute little sentiment out from some VersaFine Nocturne ink. Now, this storefront pop-up stand, this is the slimline version. It has this cute little roof, and I've got to say I'm in love with it. I colored a piece of cardstock with some Concord and 9th grapefruit ink because it's a beautiful peachy color. And now I'm going to make the roof like I did one of my previous cards because I just really like the idea of that alternating colored roof. So what I'm doing here is cutting slits in between the little scallops. And then what I'll do is every other little, piece here, I'm just going to cut it off. And by doing this, once I attach this to that rose gold roof, it's going to show through, and that's how you get the alternating pattern. And then the 2 pieces are nicely connected as well. So I'll cut that final piece off, and then all I have to do is glue it down to that rose gold roof. So I'm using some strong adhesive here. This is some strong double-sided adhesive. And then I'm also using some of my Tombow Mono dot runner for the actual scalloped panels. Then all I really have to do is kind of neatly align this with the rose gold panel and then straighten up those little scallop lines and make sure that they're adhered properly. And there's my little roof. So you can see this, you get this stunning little roof, and all I'm going to do is cut down that attachment piece at the back so it's about 1/4 of an inch. I added some more of that strong double-sided adhesive, and now I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and attach it in the center so that it's right over top of that beautiful window. Now, since you've essentially doubled up the cardstock here, I kind of have to just make sure to push down all the little pieces on the top so that it will fold down nicely. Now, the bulk of my work was actually all of the die cutting, so I'm just showing a little bit here. I actually just set up my little Sizzix side kick, and I just cut out all the little pieces that I can here at my table while watching something nice on my iPad. So now once all of the cutting's done, these are all the little pieces that I get, and this is a culmination of all of the stuff from the coffee add-on set and from the garden stand set, and I'll be using all of these to put together the rest of my card. So there's this little cafe sign, or this little sign, and I used that little cafe stamp from the sentiment stamp set. I stamped it with some VersaFine ink, and now I'm heat embossing it with some Hero Art white fine embossing powder. So I've got a little kind of chalkboard that can go on that stand, and I'll attach it to the back. And then I'll go ahead and put together all of the other little pieces in the same way. So I've mentioned before, I really like putting my pieces together in such a way that I have like a metallic shadow behind the pieces. And I just find that that gives it like a bit of a classy look, a little more finished look. And I like that little hint of shine behind the cardstock pieces. This is a technique that I really love to use for all my cards because it just gives it that little bit more of an elegant look, and I really love that look on cards. So I've gone ahead and done this with all of the little pieces. I did the little chairs, I've done the little coffee table, I have the coffee sentiment here, and this is going to end up going on the roof. And now there's also these little planters that I'm going to add. So I've got the little pots cut out. I'm adding them to that metallic backing. And then I have the little bushes that I will kind of glue together one on top of each other. I did cut them out of 2 different shades of green cardstock. And then all I have to do is kind of insert them into the little pot. So you can see there's actually a little slit there. All you have to kind of do is pull back the piece and then insert the little plant inside and kind of make sure that it's glued together. So I find putting it together this way actually makes it look really nice. So Sabrina's really put together all of these little dies with so much thought and care so that you guys can put these together so nicely. There are these cute little coffee cups here. I'm adding some little shiny metallic lids to them to go ahead with that metallic theme I've got going on. It's a little finicky, but it totally pays off because the look at the end is really cute. So you have the cute little cups. Now we'll move on to the little cupcakes. They're so small, but what I did was cut them twice. One's out of the metallic cardstock, one's out of pink. And then I just cut off the little tops of the metallic cardstock and attached it so that, you know, the kind of bottom of my cupcake has like a foil covering. They're so small and so cute and a little finicky to work with, but I really think they're worth it. They look so cute in the end. So now for the front of the card, let's go ahead and put everything together. I've got these 2 little line dies, which I thought would work as, you know, like a planter in front of the window. So once the little planter pieces are attached, I'll go ahead and take these little shrubs, which I cut out using the dies from the garden flower stand set. One I attached right to the card, and one I'm propping up a little bit with some foam squares just to add a little bit more dimension. And then I have all of these cute little star looking flowers, which were also cut out with the little dies that come with the garden flower stand set. So it's like a 1-piece die, and it cuts out a whole bunch of these little flowers in one go. So I just cut one out of some Sizzix Opulent rose gold pearl cardstock and one out of some pink, and I just kind of alternated the colors. Now, to put together the inside of the card, I showed you there that I actually made an outline of that. Like I traced, you know, where that window would fall on the inside of the card, so I can kind of eyeball where I want to put all those little inside pieces. And then I'll put them where I want them and sort of position them in a more detailed fashion once I close the front of the card. I've gone ahead and attached the table and the 2 chairs in this fashion because those are really what's mainly going to show through to the front of the card. And then I have those 2 planters, which I'm going to add on either side of those chairs, and then all of those little small little die cuts to go on top of the table. Now you can see again, it's a little finicky to mess with putting the little teapot and the little cups on, but it all pays off in the end, because all of these little details are what I find make your card unique to you. Like, you could have made the little cupcakes different colors. You could have done whatever you wanted to, and it would have made your card yours. So that's why I like all of these cute little detail dies that are included in the sets. And it's like sometimes you use the dies and then you go back to the set and you realize, hey, there's these other dies I could use. And it really makes for like it really gives you your bang for your buck. You're creating a whole bunch of different cards just from one set, really, and you get to rediscover your items and your products over and over again. So now I'm going ahead and I'm attaching that little lamppost and the sign in the front of the card, and also I'll be adding that coffee sentiment to the roof there just to kind of finish this off. This is a real coffee card. But I still wanted to make sure it was understood that it's a birthday card. So there's a smaller happy birthday sentiment that comes in that sentiment stamp set, and I've just kind of lined it up on the inside of my card here. I've done it while the card is closed so you can see it through the window, and I'll stamp it out with some more VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, which I find is great for these little small details because you only really have to stamp it twice to get a nice crisp image. And then all that's left is to kind of jazz this card up a little bit more with some fine embellishments. So I have my nail art gems here. It has some really small gems that I can use for the centers of those really small flowers. I can also add some of the larger gems around the background and in clusters of 2 or 3 on the little signs in the roof. And just for the fun of it, I added one tiny little gem on each of the 2 coffee cups, which I think looks really cute. So that is the final card that I have for you today. I had this card in mind since these sets came out, and I have to say it kind of turned out a little better than I thought it would. I really like the color scheme going on here, and everything just kind of flows and works together. So all of the products that I used are linked in my blog, which is linked in the description below. If you were inspired by my video or you want any of the products that I used to make this card, I would kindly ask you to use those links. They are affiliate links, and I do get a bit of a commission at no extra cost to you, and I would really appreciate any support in that manner. Thanks again for watching. If you liked my video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I will for sure have some more inspiration for you in the future. And I hope that you all have a great day. I'll leave you with another video and a playlist here if you wanted to take a look at some more inspiration. On behalf of myself and Scrappy Tails, have a great day, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.